Through Amish country. Is it just for the tasty treats? Here is Shoo Fly Pie by Carol Jinsky.
You are a real pain. But I love you, you know. You are my favorite nephew.
I'm your only nephew.
This is all a bit weird, you know.
Yep.
Not too many men can say their wives deserted them and the kids to run off and join the Amish. Did you have any clue something was wrong? She was always a bit different.
In retrospect, yes, I don't know how I missed it. She'd become sort of obsessed with that movie Witness. And get this, her entire Christmas list was just gray clothes with no buttons or zippers.
Huh. She's not even religious, is she? It's just hard to picture a chain-smoking alcoholic at a quilting bee or a barn raising.
She's not an alcoholic. She just likes to drink to excess.
Oh, honey, she lost her amateur status years ago. And judging from the state of the kids in the house, she wasn't exactly the homemaker type either. Speaking of which, how are you all holding up?
Fortunately, church ladies in the neighborhood have lined up outside our door with casseroles and sheet cake.
Be careful. If they see the inside of the house, as filthy as it is, and the crap everywhere, they might call Child Protective Services.
Housekeeping is simply a low priority for us. We're always busy. Traveling, art lessons, sports. I felt it was more critical to the kids' growth to expose them to the important things in life.
Maybe you should expose them to some clean sheets once in a while.
Come on, really? Each of the kids excels at a musical instrument. Annie is fantastic on the piano, James and Marie play the violin, and every one of them speaks at least 3 languages.
So, how do you say, clean the damn toilet in Russian? Why don't you just hire someone?
We emptied the trust fund, and professors don't make that much. Good insurance, though.
I thought Sheila inherited some gas leases or something. Weren't they paying like $6,000 a month?
When Sheila left, the leases went with her. She's probably bankrolling some Harrison Ford lookalike named Mordecai in his oak furniture shop.
Did she leave a note or anything when she left?
Nope, just took off. Could have been gang raped and left for dead in a ditch somewhere for all we knew.
How did you find out she was with the Amish?
The cops went into her computer, found a whole bunch of stuff. But she's an adult, so they can't just go get her and drag her back home. I had to hire a PI.
Wow, how did she find this Amish bunch anyhow? They can't use computers, and I doubt they advertise for new members.
Some damn Mennonite with an iPad, maybe.
Scene 2, driving into town.
Well, we're almost there. What's the plan?
We'll get to the mud auction and then hopefully strike up a conversation with someone who can tell us something. Give us a place to start looking.
Mud auction?
Are those the only shoes you brought with you? I guess they get a lot of rain here, so the ground might be kind of messy.
These folks keep to themselves. What the hell makes you think they're going to talk to you?
I figured I'd show them some pictures of Sheila with the kids, the family, pull on their heartstrings, ask if they've seen her. I'm hoping they wouldn't help someone who's just deserted their kids and run off.
I bet they won't even look at your photos.
I'll be aggressive if I have to.
What the hell does that mean? If you start threatening these people, I swear to God I'll drive off and leave you here.
I'm 5'2" and weigh 250 pounds. You really think I'm going to intimidate anybody? I suppose I could roll over them. I'm just going to be intense. Confident and really intense. I'll just look them straight in the eye.
Oh, I don't think that will work. Staring is not considered rude in their culture.
Ooh, you did your homework.
Well, I did more than just watch Witness.
Then you should know, even if I were to interrogate some Amish guy with a baseball bat, they probably wouldn't do anything about it. They would see the assault as a random natural event, like lightning striking your house. Then they'd pity me because I had not come to the light.
What if they've already kicked her out of the group?
I don't know. They have this crazy, weird kind of tolerance. You can't smoke or have a zipper, but I could rape some guy's wife and only get shunned for 6 weeks. Then you confess, and they forgive you like it never happened. Everyone makes nicey again.
You are a bit twisted, you know that.
It's a congenital defect.
Scene 3, Ben coming out of an Amish bakery. Aunt is waiting in the car.
Take a bite, this stuff is fantastic.
What is it?
It's called Shoo Fly Pie. You know how it got its name?
Flies land on it and shit?
No. It's named to honor Shoo Fly, the boxing mule, who was apparently a major attraction in a traveling circus 100 years ago. God, I love this stuff.
Did you get any information?
Yeah, I got the recipe.
Oh, don't be an asshole. So you're in there for over an hour and all you got was some shit about a boxing mule? What
Okay.
happened to Mr. Aggressive, Mr. Intense?
All right, I did learn something. I learned that she lived with a family here for a few months, but now she's moving to a different Amish community, one that's more liberal. If there is such a thing as a liberal Amish. Damn, this is good pie. But in this new place, if you rape somebody, they actually call the cops.
Just stop stuffing your face for a second. What is all this with you and the word rape? You've mentioned it 3 times in the last 3 minutes. Is there something I should know? You sound like a perv, for God's sake.
Haven't you heard? God is dead. That's what Nietzsche, the great philosopher, said.
Yeah, he said that? Well, he was nuts from syphilis and saved his shit in his dresser drawer. So, anyway, where did they say she went?
So, an Amish community about 150 miles from here.
What? The place was a little too Amish for her?
This new community is more modern. They even have natural gas lines and phone outhouses.
A phone in the outhouse?
That's what they call it, but it's a shared landline in a shed away from the house. No shitting involved. But the important thing I learned is that she left in a buggy with some guy that just took off this morning.
Is that the guy she left you for?
Probably not, unless he's a polygamist. He had a wife and kids with him too. But get this, they just left this morning.
Well, get in the damn car. Let's get going. Maybe we can catch up with them.
Can I finish the pie first? Oh, come on! They're in a horse and buggy. It's not like we need a high-speed chase here. You know the recipe for this pie is really easy. Molasses, flour.
No wonder you weigh 250 pounds. Priorities, Ben. We didn't drive hundreds of miles out here to meet Betty Crocker. Why do you want Sheila back anyway? Maybe this is a blessing in disguise.
The kids miss her.
What about you?
Well, I miss her too, and I still love her. I know what you all think of her, but I'm no great catch. I'm fat, I'm homely, I get paid for shit. I'll probably never get tenure. Her mother hates me. She says Sheila could have done much better, and she's right. God, no wonder she left me. I suck as a husband. I suck as a human being.
Oh, for God's sake, stop blubbering. It's not helping. How did you meet her anyway?
I was at a bachelor party.
Did she jump out of the cake or something?
She was a go-go dancer.
You picked up a go-go dancer?
No.
I'm so confused.
The bachelor party was at the Showtime Pizza Emporium. They had a great buffet. The dessert bar was incredible. Anyway, the van ran out of gas, so I went into this bar to use the phone. And after I got inside, I realized I didn't have any change to make the call, so I must have looked really pathetic. But then Sheila jumped out of her dance cage thingy in those sexy white vinyl boots, and she handed me her tip money.
How romantic.
I dropped the guys off, and then I drove her home. It was a beautiful night. There was a full moon. Oh God, I'll never forget that night. We attacked each other right there in the car, rabidly, like savage wolves. She practically ripped my pants.
Okay, I don't need to hear this. I really don't.
Wolves mate for life, you know.
So does the albatross. So what happened?
And I gave her $20.
You paid her?
No, it wasn't like that. It was more of a thank you gift.
Jeez.
Don't look at me like that. We framed that 20 and hung it over the mantle. It's a tribute to honor our special night. Now each year on our anniversary, we relive that night in the car, you know.
And then you give her $20.
Of course not. I give her 50. Inflation and all. She wasn't always like she is now, you know. She stuck by me in some awful places when I was researching for my PhD. She was a real trooper. She slept in smelly trains, she stood in meat lines. She even took care of me when I caught dysentery that time and kept shitting all over the bed.
Oh. I'm beginning to see why she left. So, what happens when we catch up to them?
Pull up alongside the buggy so she can see me, and then honk the horn until they pull over.
You'll scare the hell out of the horse.
I have to get her attention somehow. Okay, look, suppose we pick up a long-stemmed rose, and when you pull alongside the buggy, I toss it to her through the window.
I guess that's a little better.
Scene 4. Ben is holding a bag to a wound on his head.
Need some more ice?
He didn't need to whip me in the head like that.
You were climbing through his buggy window from a moving car.
I threw the rose first.
But that wasn't even Sheila. You scared the hell out of some strange Amish woman, and God knows what the other people in the buggy thought, that she has some crazy fat English stalker.
I'm sorry. I know it was a disaster. They all looked the same to me in that gray garb. Maybe it'll go better on the next attempt. Glad I bought a dozen roses.
I am not doing this 11 more times, so get it through your head right now.
This time, I'll make absolutely sure it's her.
Scene 5. Outside a rest stop bathroom.
She's just cleaning up a bit. One of the roses poked her in the eye. And she wants to put some makeup on. I tried calling her mother to say things are okay, but she wouldn't stop yelling. God, she hates me.
Well, you did drag her daughter through some of the world's greatest shitholes. You never told me about Sheila catching malaria.
It wasn't as bad as when she caught the bubonic plague in Uzbekistan. Oh, you should have seen it. The lymph nodes in her armpits grew to be the size of eggs, and they were oozing this or started coughing up blood or anything serious. We got her some doxycycline, and she was good as new in a few weeks. In a way, it was kind of cool. Like living a part of world history. It made a hugely significant world crisis real for us.
I'm sure she appreciated that. You know, life gives you lemons. So, the plague cleared up, but the malaria is recurrent?
Unfortunately, it can come back from time to time and cause bizarre psychiatric problems that go on for the rest of your life. Apparently, she had a flare-up. It made her delusional, and she believed she was starring in Witness 2 and was late for filming, so she took off. The Amish found her wandering around, but she wasn't making any sense and didn't remember anything, so they took her in. But she's much better now. The doctor said it sometimes takes a traumatic event to bring the ill person back to reality.
Well, I guess seeing you again could do the job. So now what, head home?
We want to make a fresh start, you know? Just go on with life like this never happened. I'm going to be a better husband. No more taking her for granted. I'll treat her like a princess. You'll see. And did you notice? In some ways, she is a very different person now. The Amish taught her to cook and sew, raise vegetables, castrate goats, and she loved it. Well, not the goat stuff. But she can't wait to get home to the kids and cook them dinner and sew clothes for them.
She wants to make their clothes?
As long as there are no buttons or zippers. The clergyman said she'd become quite a skilled baker, too. When she gets home, she wants to write a cookbook and blog about her life with the Amish. Maybe we could sell the rights to her story. That could be some serious bucks. This could be a blessing in disguise.
I'm so happy for you. I'm shocked as hell that it turned out this way. But I'm so happy for you and the kids. After all, you are my favorite nephew.
I'm your only nephew.
That was Shoo Fly Pie.